There is a quiet danger in believing that to be chosen is to be special. The mind clings to the idea of honor, of standing above others. But in truth, being chosen is not a crown. It is a weight that presses on your shoulders, demanding strength you did not know you had. In the Shaolin courtyard, when the young disciple first hears the master call his name, there is excitement. His chest swells with pride, his steps grow bold. Yet the days that follow reveal the truth. He rises before dawn, while the others still sleep. He repeats the same form again and again, until his body trembles, while others laugh. He sits in stillness, facing only his own restless thoughts. The master gives him no applause, only silence. The message is clear. The higher the calling, the greater the discipline required. To be chosen is to carry more weight, not less. The one who carries this fire must learn not to misuse it, for the flame that warms can also burn. Favor is not freedom, it is accountability. The disciple who trains harder does not do so because he is weak, but because he has been entrusted with more. In life, it is the same. When you are called, when you are set apart, understand this. It is not the world rewarding you, it is life demanding from you, demanding sharper focus, deeper patience, and stricter alignment. Others may walk freely. You cannot. Others may speak carelessly. You must guard your words. Others may indulge without thought. You must restrain yourself. This is not punishment. It is refinement. The chosen one is shaped, tested, and tempered until every motion, every thought, every breath reflects the responsibility placed within them. There is a strength that comes not from striking first, but from saying nothing at all. The old masters knew this. That is why silence is woven into Shaolin discipline like breath itself. For the monk, silence is not emptiness, it is preservation. Each word carries energy, and once spoken, it cannot return. To waste words is to waste life force. A young monk once asked his teacher why he was made to spend entire days in silence. The teacher did not answer. Instead, he poured water into a cup until it spilled over. This, he finally said, is what happens when the tongue moves without restraint. Noise drowns wisdom. The lesson was clear. Silence keeps the cup steady. For those who are chosen, the same truth applies. Not every conversation deserves your presence. Not every question requires your voice. When you speak, you release pieces of yourself into the world, pieces that can be twisted, mocked, or drained by envy. Gossip cannot survive without an open mouth. Distraction cannot grow without your response. In silence, you conserve energy the way a warrior conserves strength before a battle. You stand apart from arguments, from petty debates, from the need to defend what is already known within you. Silence becomes your shield, invisible yet unbreakable. Over time, you realize something greater. Silence is not only protection, it is clarity. In the quiet, you hear your own heart. In the stillness, you notice what others miss, the subtle stirrings of truth, the whispers of higher guidance. While others exhaust themselves proving, explaining, or defending, you remain steady, untouched. To walk as the chosen is to know when to speak and when to stay still. And often, the greatest strength is found in the words you never release. There is a moment in training when the body trembles, the legs ache, and the mind screams for escape. The young disciple wants to move, to stretch, to run from the fire building inside his muscles, but the master does not permit it. He simply says, "Stay." At first, the stillness feels like torture, yet in time something shifts. The pain does not vanish, but the mind grows quiet, the breath deepens, and a strange peace begins to rise from within. This is the secret of stillness. It is not emptiness, it is alignment. When the body stops running, the mind stops chasing, and the spirit finds its center. In that space, truth can finally be heard. God does not compete with noise, he waits for silence. Wisdom does not shout, it whispers to the attentive heart. The chosen must learn this discipline. Waiting is not weakness. Listening is not passivity. Discernment is not hesitation. To sit in stillness is to sharpen the inner ear, to hear the difference between impulse and guidance, between noise and command. Think of the lake that mirrors the sky. If the surface is restless, everything above appears broken and distorted. But when the waters are still, the reflection is perfect. The heart is no different. A restless spirit cannot see clearly, cannot hear fully. Only stillness reveals the truth. So when the world demands urgency, the chosen one does not rush. When the mind demands answers, the chosen one does not panic. Instead, they wait, they breathe, they align. In that quiet surrender, clarity emerges, not forced, not chased, but given. And with clarity comes strength, for the one who knows when to move and when to be still cannot be shaken. A man may receive the highest calling, but without discipline it crumbles like a house built on sand. Favor opens the path, but discipline keeps the feet steady upon it. This is why the old masters place such weight on repetition. Day after day, the same movements, the same stances, the same breath. To the outsider it looks dull, but within that routine lies the seed of mastery. There is a story of a young monk who wished to learn the most advanced techniques. He begged his teacher for new forms, new secrets. Instead, the teacher told him to strike the wooden post with the same movement 1,000 times each day. Months passed. His knuckles bled, his arms ached, his spirit grew restless, yet he obeyed. In time, the movement became effortless. His body no longer thought, it simply flowed. What once felt like punishment became liberation. Mastery was born not through variety, but through discipline. The chosen must understand this. Destiny is not preserved by passion alone. Fire burns bright, but without structure it quickly fades. Discipline is the vessel that carries the flame across the years. The mind must be trained to resist distraction. The body must be trained to endure hardship. Habits must be shaped to serve purpose rather than comfort. Every small act of discipline, rising early, guarding words, controlling appetites, becomes a stone in the foundation of calling. Neglect even a few, and cracks begin to form. But tend to them daily, and the path remains strong, unshaken by trial. To be chosen is not simply to be gifted, it is to be entrusted. And only through discipline can that trust be honored, and the calling carried to its rightful end. A warrior may train with weapons, strengthen his body, and sharpen his reflexes, yet none of these compare to the battle he must fight within. The enemy outside is visible, predictable, but the enemy inside hides in silence, striking when least expected. Thoughts that whisper doubt, fears that paralyze, temptations that promise ease, these wounds cut deeper than any blade. There is an old saying among the monks, the untrained mind is a wild horse. Left unchecked, it runs into chaos, dragging the rider through thorn and stone. But when disciplined, the same horse becomes swift and powerful, carrying the rider far on the path of purpose. In the same way, the chosen must learn to take hold of their inner world, guiding it with patience, strength, and clarity. Consider the disciple who enters meditation for the first time. He closes his eyes, expecting peace. Instead, the noise grows louder, memories, regrets, desires all rising at once. He feels defeated, believing he has failed. The master tells him, now you have finally met your opponent. The real fight is not against silence, but against the storms that fill the silence. For the chosen, victory in life depends on this unseen battle. Without mastery of thought, fear will bend the knees before any challenge. Without mastery of desire, temptation will weaken even the strongest resolve. But when the inner battlefield is conquered, no outer force can overthrow the one who stands in alignment. The greatest warriors are not those who win wars outside, but those who reign over their own heart. For once the inner world is steady, the outer world bows in response. This is the fight every chosen one must accept. The lifelong training of mastering the self. The halls of the monastery are quiet, not because there is no sound, but because the monks have learned not to chase it. The world outside calls with 1,000 voices, praise, wealth, recognition, comfort. Yet within those walls, all of it is stripped away. The robe is simple, the food plain, the routine unchanging. This is not poverty, it is freedom. There is a lesson in this for the chosen. Applause feels good, but it is fleeting. Approval lifts the spirit, but it fades when the crowd turns. Material gain may fill the hands, yet it leaves the heart restless. To cling to these things is to build a life on shifting ground. A single change, and everything collapses. True mastery lies in detachment. It is the strength to hear praise and not be inflated, to face criticism and not be broken, to hold blessings without being chained to them. When purpose becomes the compass, distractions lose their power. Think of the warrior in training. If he pauses at every cheer from the sidelines, he loses rhythm. If he listens to every voice of doubt, he falters. Only when his eyes remain fixed on the path before him does he move with certainty. So it is with the chosen. Their calling demands focus sharper than comfort, endurance stronger than vanity. This does not mean rejecting the world, but refusing to be ruled by it, to eat without greed, to serve without seeking applause, to walk without needing recognition. This is the mark of mastery. For when the chosen one no longer depends on the noise outside, they become anchored within, and nothing, no praise nor rejection, can move them away from their true purpose. The day in the monastery begins before the sun itself. While the world still sleeps, the monks rise in silence. There is no rushing, no dragging of feet. Each movement, washing, dressing, stepping into the courtyard, is carried out with precision, as if time itself were a form of prayer. They train, they meditate, they work, and when night falls, they rest with the same awareness they began with. Every hour is honored. Nothing is wasted. This discipline carries a truth that the chosen must understand. Time is sacred currency. It is the one treasure that cannot be stored, cannot be multiplied, cannot be reclaimed once spent. To waste it is to betray the calling placed upon your life. Consider how easily hours slip away. Endless chatter, idle distractions, pursuits that lead nowhere. At first it feels harmless, but soon the weight of lost time becomes heavy. A vision delayed, a discipline neglected, a purpose left unattended. Destiny is not stolen in a single blow. It is eroded through wasted moments. To honor time is to live with intention. Rising early is not about the clock, but about beginning the day with mastery instead of chaos. Moving with precision is not about speed but about care, giving full presence to each act, no matter how small. Resting with awareness is not mere sleep, but renewal, preparing the body and mind for the next day's journey. For the chosen, every hour holds meaning. Some hours are for building strength, some for seeking God, some for serving, some for renewal. None are given for aimless drift. To treat time carelessly is to treat purpose lightly, and purpose cannot survive neglect. Protect your hours, and they will protect your destiny. There's a reason monks train not only the body, but also the tongue. A single careless word can wound deeper than a strike, and a single true word can lift a heart for a lifetime. Both Shaolin teaching and sacred scripture agree on this. Words are not breath alone, they are seeds. Once spoken, they take root, and in time they bear fruit. A story is told of a disciple who mocked another in anger. The master gave him a bag of feathers and told him to scatter them in the wind. When the task was done, the master said, "Now gather them back." The disciple searched, but the feathers were gone, carried beyond reach. So it is with words, the master said. Once released, they cannot be recalled. For the chosen, this lesson is vital. Words are tools of creation and destruction. They can bless a path or poison it, strengthen faith or weaken it, call life into being or invite death. To speak without intention is to hand destiny over to chance. This is why the wise speak rarely. They do not waste words on gossip or anger. They do not pour truth into ears that twist it into mockery. When they speak, it is deliberate, shaped with care, infused with presence. Even silence, when chosen with wisdom, becomes a word in itself. The chosen one knows that destiny is written not only in deeds but in declarations. To speak with intention is to align with purpose. To guard the tongue is to guard the path. For once words are released into the world, they carry the power to build or to break, and the master of self chooses carefully which seeds to scatter. In the training halls, balance is not a suggestion. It is survival. Push too hard and the body tears. move too softly, and the form loses